Hey guys, so today we have an analysis of the polling data from Monday the 5th of November. I think this will be the last batch of polls we will get before the actual results come in. So there's a lot to cover, a lot of polls. Finally we're getting some polls from Missouri and they show very interesting data. Some conflicting data in some of the states. So let's start off with the Michigan Senate race between Debbie Stabenow and John James. This race has narrowed down, but Debbie Stabenow still leads by 7 points. That's something to note because even though this is a Trump state, she was leading by more earlier on. And Stabenow's numbers have pretty much stayed the same. 52 in the beginning, 52.3 now, but John James's numbers have gone up from 33% all the way up to 41%. So that's also something to note in the polling averages, not that specific poll. Now, in the Minnesota Senate special election between Tina Smith and Karen Housley, Smith now leads by 8 points. Again, pretty good news for Tina Smith heading into Election Day tomorrow. I can't believe I'm actually saying Election Day tomorrow, so yeah, it is definitely something to note that Tina Smith is the favourite to go on and win. Their Democrats must win if they want any hopes and dreams of taking the US Senate. Now, let's take a look at the state of Florida because we have many polls. My computer's very laggy today. I'm so sorry for you guys having to wait this long just to pull off a Real Clear Politics page. There we go. So, St. Pete poll, which used to have Scott ahead, now has Bill Nelson leading by 4. That's something to note again. In addition, he is above the 50% mark. He's at 50%, 50%, 51%, 50%. He's consistently at or above 50%. Now, let's take a look at the Scott +2 one. No candidate has reached 50%. That means that Nelson's base much more energized than Rick Scott's base, and Bill Nelson looks like he's going to be re-elected, United States Senator from the state of Florida. Sorry about that. That's just my thumbnails presentation now. If we go ahead and look at all the Bill Nelson wins over the past few times, they've all been above 50%. That is good news for Bill Nelson heading into the final 24 hours before the election. Now, let's take a look at the Missouri Senate race between Clay McCaskill and Josh Hawley. And I'm standing by my prediction that Clay McCaskill will narrowly win. Now, reason why I say this. In the poll that has McCaskill ahead, firstly, it's done by a national company, NBC News/Marist. Second, it has McCaskill over the 50% mark. Again, if one of these candidates was over the 50% mark, I'd probably trust that poll more. But heading into this final stretch, there is absolutely no way there are this many undecided voters 24 hours out from the election. There might be 2 or 3% undecided, but not like 10%. That's just not really believable. So yeah, pretty good news for McCaskill heading into the final 24 hours in the Missouri Senate race. Now, taking a look at Arizona between Martha McSally and Kristen Sinema, maybe Martha McSally will pull this one off at the end of the day, but I still think Sinema will pull this one off ever so narrowly at the end of the day. McSally, yes, she's led in most of the last 5 polls, but one of them is done by Emerson. That's a very trustable company, much more trustable than many of these others. Yeah, Gravis maybe. But overall, pretty good news for Martha McSally, but I still think Kristen Sinema will narrowly pull this one off. Looking at the Nevada Senate race, I don't know. There we go. So, the Nevada Senate race, I am so sorry. Okay, I'll be right back after this. Hi again. So my computer was being really laggy, so Yeah, I was talking about the Nevada Senate race. Sorry, I was about to talk about the Nevada Senate race because the latest Emerson poll shows Jackie Rosen with 49% of the vote and leading by 4. Again, good news for her, but it could be better because, and I mean, I would trust this poll more than the Harris X or Trafalgar group polls. I wouldn't really trust Harris X because there's no way, again, that many undecided voters, and then for Trafalgar group, it has an R by its name, so I'm not really trusting that one. So I will trust the Emerson poll the most. Jackie Rosen leading by 4 again. Pretty good news for her. Could be better, but definitely better than where she was. I have this in the tilt. I have this one in the tilt Democratic column. Now, in the state of Indiana, between Mike Braun and Joe Donnelly, there we go. According to Harris X, Braun leads by 1. But again, Harris X seems to be having so many undecided voters. There is absolutely no way in the world that there is only 83% of the electorate decided. Absolutely no way whatsoever. No way whatsoever. So I'm not trusting that poll. Sorry, but I'm just not taking any of that. Next we have the Montana Senate race between Jon Tester and Matt Rosendale. Again, a lot of undecided voters. I can't really trust this polling firm, Harris X. They're saying there's still quite a bit of undecided voters, so I won't trust this one. The Gravers poll that was already done shows Tester leading, so pretty good news for Jon Tester, but could be better, definitely could be better. Now, it can't really get much better for Bob Menendez. He is in the middle of a corruption scandal, and he is still leading by 15 points. This is what I'm talking about. This is, let me show you, when he was leading by like 5. This is his base coming back. From 28 to 24, all the way to 55 to 40. This is his base coming back. Bob Menendez's base is coming back. The Democratic Party is coming home in New Jersey. Might not be the best thing, but he's still leading in the state of New Jersey. In Minnesota, I don't really want to cover this because this is going to go to the Democrats anyway. This is Jim Newberger and Amy Klobuchar. Klobuchar leading by 23, exactly what we've been seeing in previous polls. Now, we have some governor races to cover. In the Florida governor race between Andrew Gillum and Ron DeSantis, Gillum now leading consistently in every poll that has been done within the average, including the Republican poll. In addition, Gillum is above 50% in many of the polling that was done. So enough talking about the Florida governor race because we need to move on. Now, looking at the Nevada governor race between Adam Laxalt and Steve Sisolak. Now, I see this one narrowly going to Sisolak. Now, let me give you my reasoning for this. 1, see these 2 polls that came out today. Sisolak in the Emerson poll, he is at 48 to 47. He only needs 2 points more of undecideds to sway to him. Then in the Laxalt poll with Harris X overestimating undecided voters, 45 to 44. Now, you may say that could be a good thing for Adam Laxalt because his base is more with him, and Sisolak's base is kind of like, well, I might vote to him, I'm probably leaning towards him. But still, I think it's overall good news for Steve Sisolak in that one. In South Dakota, a surprise Kristi Noem versus Billy Sutton. I still see this one leaning towards the GOP. Given 2 out of the 3 last polls that have been done, shows the GOP leading in that one. But it is very good for the Democrats there to be actually competitive in South Dakota. Pretty surprising to me, actually. In the state of Arizona, between Doug Ducey and David Garcia, Ducey leads consistently by double digits now. I still see this one only going likely to go to the GOP. Now, we have the Michigan governor race and then a few congressional district polls. So, let's start off in the state of Michigan between Bill Stewart and Gretchen Whitmer. Gretchen Whitmer now leading by a considerable amount, by 14 points. Something to note given the previous poll had her only up by 7. A few more polls to go. In the New Hampshire governor race, it's actually a tie. This is very surprising to me. It was going to load. I'll show you. The last few polls have been kind of close, which is a surprise. UNF has this one at a tie. Not really buying that. I would still definitely lean it towards the Republicans, but this one could go either way. Any race could go either way, but this one definitely. Now let's go over the congressional districts, then we'll finish off with the national polls. In the state of New Hampshire, again, the 1st district, this is leaning Democratic. Trump won the district, but Obama won the district. Democratic voters coming back 11 points for the Democrat candidate there. Pretty good news for him. I have this in the likely Democratic column. And then Annie Tuster, probably going to win this one, likely to go to the Democrats. In Nevada, closer than I personally expected. Maybe it's the candidates, maybe it's the national environment, we don't know. But the Democrat leading there by 4. I have this one leaning, and the same thing in the 3rd district. I have this leaning towards the Democrats. Lee now leading by 10 points. Pretty good news for her heading into that final 24 hours. So now let's go over the 2018 generic congressional vote, the President Trump job approval, and the direction of the country. So we'll go over these pretty quickly because I don't really have much time left. It's really a long video for you guys. So let's start off. I'm testing my patience today. CNN shows the Democrats leading by 13. I don't think they're leading by 13. I think they're leading by 7 to 8. But then Rasmussen, well, they show the Republicans leading by 1. Again, not believable. Unbelievable. The Republicans, they're hardly at 47-48%. Just unbelievable. Now, in the President Trump job approval, Rasmussen, again, showing President approving by 1. CNN shows him underwater by 16. Again, not believable. Both sides need to calm down. CNN and Rasmussen need to calm down on their inflation of these numbers because they're really inflated, I guess you could say that. And wrong track plus 10, again, pretty much expected by now. So that's it for today's polling. We've covered all the polls now. I don't know if we'll get any polls from the actual day. I know, you know what I mean, but not any polls like on here from Tuesday, November 6th, but we'll have to wait and see. If we do, I'll make a video about it. If we don't, that's fine. So thank you guys for watching.